Here are 5 mistakes you're probably making while clearing through Naxxramas. In no particular order, you're probably not using Amplify Magic. On fights like Patchwork where there's only physical damage, you have no downside to using this buff. Putting this on your tanks will make the fight much more consistent. Another fight where you can use Amplify Magic is on Saffron. Believe it or not, the Amplify Magic will not be affected by any of the magic spells that Saffron can cast. For whatever reason, the game is coded to having a 0 coefficient, so what this means is you're only going to get that bonus healing, making Saffron much more consistent as well. Just keep in mind that the buff will disappear whenever you log out, so be sure to do this right before you pull. And then a bonus tip for my mages, you can spec into Magic Attunement, and this will increase Amplify Magic by 50%. The next mistake is not using a lip over any of your other potions. You're always going to want to prio using a lip in living and playing safe, rather than pushing a little bit more DPS. I know you might want to Mighty Rage on Patchwork for example, but if you ever rip on pretty much any encounter, it's likely GG for you, and you're going to have a pretty unfun experience for the rest of that raid night. So to save yourself the hassle, just pop a lip, play safe, play smart, and you're going to have a lot more fun inside of Naxxramas. For my caster DPS and my healers, use a lip on Instructor Resuvius whenever the Disrupting Shout goes out. This allows you to save yourself if the boss is ever out of position, or you can maximize a little bit more DPS by using the potion. Disrupting Shout is a physical spell, so Alliance can use Blessing of Protection to achieve the same thing. The next mistake is you're probably focusing a little bit too much on some of the niche buffs like the Magic Resistance Potion. As far as I know, this doesn't stack with the Pally Aura or the Shaman Totem, so it's really only useful if they're ever out of range of you, or if you lose that Pally or Shaman during the fight. I would focus more on items like the Ice Deflector, which just absorbs 600 frost damage and has no downside whatsoever. It doesn't share a cooldown with health stones or anything like that, and anyone in the raid can use this. You just need to engineer to craft it with 155 NG, a gizmo, and a frost oil, and you'll have 5 charges of this item. The next mistake is unbooting early. If you're unbooting on fights like Instructor Resuvius or Gothic, I highly recommend keeping those buffs booned for the much more difficult encounters. All it takes is one taunt swap to go wrong, and then you're losing a bunch of world buffs. Instead, save those world buffs for the harder encounters like Patchwork, 4 Horsemen, Saffron, or even KT. And what I recommend doing to take things a step farther is try to clear as much trash as possible before unbooting your buffs. Last but not least, the biggest mistake you could be making is comparing yourself to other guilds. I know I said that these were in no particular order, but this is by far the most important. It's just unrealistic to compare yourself to any of the top guilds right now, whether they've been full clearing since day 1 or week 1. These guilds have tons of experience over the years of playing Classic WoW, and of course all of the practice going on behind the scenes on Classic Era or even private servers. As the old saying goes, jealousy is the thief of joy. Try not to compare yourself to others and play at your own pace. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals and you're going to have a much better time playing the game. Naxxramas is a difficult raid, regardless of what others may say. The only people that are saying that it's easy are players that have cleared the raid hundreds of times. What I recommend doing instead is checking out some of the top guilds and watching their live streams. Try to emulate some of the strats that they do and make them into your own. You can catch me live every Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll be streaming all of my runs with the Guild Squawk. If you have any questions, that's the best place for me to answer them. And that's pretty much it. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. And as always, I will see you in the next video.